Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. So I thought I would keep the streak alive and go for another TikTok video. I don't personally use TikTok, so I guess that's a disclaimer. To be honest, I don't think that TikTok will die. I have taught over, I've taught about 500 students over the time this TikTok ban has been talked about. And and I make jokes and I cackle and I tell them that, hey, it's not good, the end of the world, blah blah blah. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is quite, it's quite scary. Like if that's your main thing, like, and if you don't have a lot going on in your life, if you're just a kid, that can be jarring. And so sometimes I'm dismissive, but I am dismissive in the way that I'm trying to get them to minimize the importance of a single app. So there is that. Now that that's like kind of handled, I do want to say that yeah, it was the ban was put in place. There were steps taken. The government went ahead and signed off on it. Biden signed off on it, and then when all of a sudden Trump changed, as Trump changes his tune, he that left some question marks of like what's he gonna do. The ban starts the day before he becomes president. So what do we do? And what ended up happening was I think that the Biden administration was like, okay, so we're just not going to enforce it. So now, if you're TikTok, what do? Like you don't want people to not be freaked out by this, right? Because if they're not freaked out, they're not going to pressure the government into it's beauty of a democracy. If you're an outside entity like a company or the Chinese government or the Russian government or whatever, your goal would be to get the people to maximize upsetness. So when the day of the ban happens, what do you do? Do you risk letting everything go run its course, and then all the fear mongering doesn't, and then all that anxiety you built up to get people mobilized doesn't pan out? When that happens, like what do you do? So what they do is so kids, yeah, so people turn on they people will turn on their TikTok app on that last Sunday. This was a few days ago, and they get a notification. First of all, it worked. It logged them on, so it does work. But they had that thing where it's like, oh, whoop, whoop, it doesn't work. Sorry, like you connected to our servers, but we can't do anything for you because you're in America. And it's like, thanks the U.S. government. And now, so yeah, and then 14 hours later, they were like, hey, guess what? We're back. Ha 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 ha. You're like, isn't that great? We're awesome. And yeah, so the TikTok ban, because they said, oh, because Trump gave us enough good feelings that we decided to turn it back on, right? So when that happens, what do? It's kind of a wait and see. So like I have had kids tell me like, oh, I deleted my app, and now TikTok works again. But here's the thing: is Google and Apple and their app stores are still maintaining the ban, and they're not allowing downloads of the app like they always were going to. That is upsetting. Ooh, T's going off. Hang on. And I'm back. The so what do? Well, and so Google and Apple say, oh, well, you can't download the app because there's a ban, and just because people say stuff, it doesn't change what the law is. So there's laws, like things to be codified into law. Then the next step would be enforcement of the law. Enforcement of the law falls under the executive branch. That's the president and his job. Now we just had a presidential swap. Trump says after being the president who started all of this years ago, like 7 years ago, when he first started, like 6 or 7 years ago, when he said TikTok might be bad, let's ban it. Now he's like, oh, everybody loves me on TikTok. He literally said they like me on TikTok, so now I want to keep TikTok. He had said nothing about national security, and then people are like, oh, great, TikTok gets to stay. Now all the kids I talk to this week, they're all super excited because I don't know a lot of adults that use TikTok, unfortunately. I don't know. That's a little weird, but I am a teacher, so most of the people I talk to are I work with 1,000 teenagers every day. So now what do? For now, nothing, because oh my gosh, things are so fluid right now. Like you shouldn't make any big choices. TikTok's going to lose a lot of users. They're going to lose a lot of money because with With insecurity comes doubt, and with doubt, people who give you lots of money to sponsor products or to give ads for their products, they will stop signing those contracts if they don't know. So Trump extended the leniency on the ban for 70 days, 75 days, something like that. Which you can do. The president can do that. Because the president enforces things. Um, like they ensure things are like that's the Justice Department. That's an executive department. It falls under the executive branch. Congress is the one who passed the law, and then the president signs off on it. Blah 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 blah. You guys should already know this if you've passed 8th grade civics or if you've studied any type of thing or watched any videos on the internet. That might be too meta. So to further on this up, is to keep this stream of thought going before my train of thought derails, and there are no survivors. Uh, yeah. So what do we do? Nothing. I mean, Google and Apple are getting what they wanted. TikTok's getting knocked down. And then, fast forward a few days, and now people are saying that, wait a minute, Trump is saying that he wants the United States government to have a controlling interest in TikTok. He wants the US government to run TikTok. I see no possible downsides. I might not have all the inner knowledge about that, but I gotta say, that's a little wild, bro. Like, I gotta be honest with you. Um, yeah, like if people were worried about the Chinese government having control of TikTok, that was a hypothetical. Trump wants to take all hypotheticals out of the scenario and just go full tilt. Well, not full tilt. It's like a 51% stake. Like he just wants to have control. He wants his government to have. He wants our government. I am an American. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, and and again, the American TikTok users don't even make up half of the worldwide um, TikTok user base. But here's the thing: even if that's the case, what percentage of TikTok's money comes from the United States? Because no country in the history of the world has been so good at throwing away their money and having disposable income as America. Doesn't matter how many generations you've been here, our special sauce is we are really good at spending money on stuff that we don't need. That's why the United States flag is on the moon, because it's up there. That's why we have the first, second, and fourth largest air forces. Huh. That's why we have the first, second, and fourth largest air forces in the world, and that's why the most commonly used dollar by by the most governments, besides the country that makes the currency, is the U.S. dollar, because we are just really good at spending things. And I would love to see what the purchasing power of all these nervous people is. So, going forward, it's big question marks. I'll try to make another one of these if it goes forward or if something else big changes. So we are post the ban now, and there is no legal constitutional way to stop this flow. It will take a new amendment to the law, or it will take a new executive order shenanigans or enforcement denials by the president, President Trump currently. Um, yeah, so hopefully this helps. Um, and for the first time and the last time, my channel is The Rusty Raven, and if you like it, subscribe. I do stream of thought stuff. I'd like to teach people about random stuff, and I also talk about video games and whatnot. So give me a like and a follow, and not a follow. What platform is this? Give me a like and a maybe like subscribe, or ring the bell. It feels weird to say that. I don't usually say that. But anyway, yeah, it's a ride. Stay tuned. Always double check your sources. Trust nobody. If you want to trust people, verify everything. Multiple sources, multiple angles. Don't take it for granted. Media literacy saves democracy. Yeah.